Sometimes we get so wrapped up in our problems or situations in our lives that we don't even realize that we're unconsciously associating ourselves with our problems. And this is something that I used to struggle with a lot, and sometimes I still do. Whenever something happens in my life and I feel like I need to solve the problem, I feel like whatever steps I take, even if I'm doing all the right things, or if I'm trying to break a bad habit and I'm trying to implement a new one to replace it with, I feel like sometimes I hit a wall or it feels like I'm just stuck. Like I don't, I'm on the right path, but it feels very difficult. And when that happens, I just ask myself, I turn inward and I'm like, okay, what is the deal with this problem? And a lot of the time, what I find is I'm unconsciously tying myself to the problem. It's like if I'm making the problem a part of who I am, like my personality. And when I come to that realization, it's usually just that conscious awareness that happens when I really sit down and ask myself what's going on here. It's that conscious awareness that actually breaks the tie with me and the problem. And from then on, all the right things that I'm implementing in my life start to feel a lot more easier. Because you see, when you're implementing all the right things in your life, you're trying to better yourself or you're trying to solve some sort of problem, whatever the situation is, when you feel like you're taking the necessary or the correct steps, but it's not working, it's because you're taking the correct steps from a version of yourself who would not take those steps. Because when you're unconsciously tying yourself to a problem or a situation, you are essentially being a version of yourself that has those problems or whatever it is in your life still. So you can't move forward from a version of yourself where problems still exist. But when you cut ties with yourself and the problem, when you stop almost making that problem a part of who you are, then you're able to step into a different version of yourself who moves differently. Because if you are implementing a new routine or new habits in your life, for example, in order to get rid of bad habits or old patterns or old routines, when you do so from a perspective or a version of yourself that matches that, you're going to have a much easier time seeing or achieving the results that you want. Versus if you are doing all of the right things from a version of yourself who is still stuck thinking about the old problems or the old habits or the old patterns. So when you get the version of yourself to match the right things that you're doing, that's when everything starts to feel a lot more natural or a lot more easy, or the solution starts to actually appear right before your eyes. All of the problems, the circumstances, the issues, the situations, whatever it is, they start to dissolve a lot more easily and quickly when you are doing all the right things from a version of yourself that matches who would do those things in the first place. So if you are struggling with something, ask yourself, who am I being right now? Am I unknowingly, unconsciously associating myself with my problems? Because again, a lot of the time we don't realize that that's what we're doing. But when you sit down and truly ask yourself, what is going on with this problem right now? Who am I being? I'm doing all of the right things, but who am I being when I'm doing the right things? Who do I believe myself to be? What do I believe of myself? Because that will give you the answer, and it's more than likely going to show you that you are indeed unconsciously tying yourself to the problem itself. So when you become consciously aware of that, you immediately break the tie between you and that problem. Remember that you are not your problems. It doesn't matter what you're going through. I know sometimes things in life can feel so incredibly difficult and challenging, but you are never your problems. You have already overcome every single problem you have ever faced in your life. And whatever you're facing right now is no different. It doesn't matter how big or small you perceive it to be. You're going to overcome it because you are powerful, you are deserving, you are worthy. So ask yourself, who am I being right now? Because I am not my problem. And again, once you stop identifying with your problems, every problem, every situation is going to dissolve a lot more quickly and easily. That's it for today, guys. I will see you again next time. Love you.